turn on the music. So, Archie. I'm lagging. Wait, this? Okay. I like the King of the Jungle thing. I want one of these. Oh, just give me one. Alright, he gone. I'm lagging a lot. I'm reading the animal, and somebody has an unwanted promo spike thing, the mystical spike. I'm just like things. Wait, what the heck? Thing is glitching out. Oh, how do you think? How's that? I'm gonna go to my den because I'm lagging a lot here. So yeah. Hello. Oh, this music, yeah. AJ Melody or whatever it's called. Yeah. Wait, my house looks so plain. I'm pretty sure there was something on the walls over here earlier. Oh, there was something there, but I traded it away. It was a good. Okay, so then. Don't tell me. There we go. I think my wallflower was right there. Ooh, it's some froggy out. I just mowed the lawn today. The lawnmower kept breaking down, so yeah, I literally like 2 hours mowing the lawn because my lawnmower broke like every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes actually. And now I'm like really sore because I have to start the lawnmower like every 5 minutes because like I don't know, there's something wrong with my lawnmower. So yeah. A lot of buddies here. Yep. Yeah, so right now my mom and my sister are at a party. I think they're still at it. Even though my mom said it was supposed to end 2 hours ago, I guess it's still going on, so and I need what the one. Yeah, I'm sure, but right, I'm gonna be like multitasking. I need to do my lifeguard thing. I have so many tabs open, but yeah, I'm doing some lifeguard thing because I'm gonna be a lifeguard for the summer. So I have to do an online lifeguard class, and like it's 7 hours long, like 7 straight hours, like. But it takes me even longer because I have to like answer these questions, and I always get them wrong, so I have to like fix my questions. But I spent like last weekend, I spent basically the entire like 2 days, and I still wasn't done, and I still have like 2 hours left of it. So I'm like trying to finish this. And I always get the questions wrong too. So yeah. Like if I get them wrong, most of the times I have to like redo it, or I have to like sometimes it's like a video and I have to answer the questions, and if I answer questions wrong, I have to re-watch the video. And the videos are like 10 minutes long, so it's like a real big waste of time. But yeah. Okay, so. Yeah, I got them all right. Okay. Wait, what that? Yeah, I'm not gonna watch this right now. But yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna mute this again. I'm gonna watch the life learning video right now.
Many injuries can occur on land at an aquatic facility, including skin and soft tissue injuries, burns, injuries to bones and joints, and even bleeding emergencies. When caring for an injury at your facility, follow these general care guidelines. Activate the EAP, size up the scene, and perform an initial impression. Use your senses to check for hazards that could present a danger. Use appropriate personal protective equipment. Determine the number of victims. Determine the nature of the illness.
See, this part is does appear it's 15 minutes long. That's this one.
Ask yourself, does the victim look sick? Is the victim awake and moving? If the scene appears to be unsafe, move to a safe distance, notify additional members, and wait for their arrival. Following the scene size-up, including forming an initial impression, conduct a primary assessment to determine if the victim has any life-threatening conditions, and if so, summon EMS personnel if a call has not already been made.
These videos are really boring.
If no life-threatening conditions are found, perform a secondary assessment and care for any conditions you may find. Any injury to the soft tissues, such as the skin, fat, or muscle, is called a wound. Closed wounds occur beneath the skin's attached surface. Bruises and internal bleeding are examples of a closed wound. An open wound is one in which the skin is broken. This can include an abrasion, laceration, avulsion, or puncture.
Oh my god.
Open wounds can lead to external bleeding. Remember to always apply appropriate personal
These are like fake.
before
These
coming
are
in
like
contact with the victim.
staged.
Most
So,
external bleeding
that's
injuries
not real
that you
blood.
encounter will be minor, such as a small cut that can be cared for by applying direct pressure over the wound until the bleeding stops, cleaning the wound, and applying an adhesive bandage with a wound gel or antibiotic ointment. Major wounds do not stop bleeding on their own. To care for a major wound, activate the EAP and have someone summon EMS. Then, cover the wound with a sterile gauze dressing and apply direct pressure over the wound using the flat part of your fingers. You can ask the victim to apply direct pressure. If blood soaks through the first gauze pad, place another pad on top and apply direct pressure if necessary. Cover the dressing with a roller bandage and secure it directly over the wound. Check for circulation beyond the injury. If the wound bleeds through,
Oh my
do not remove the original bandage. Apply additional dressings over the soaked bandage and apply direct pressure. If a wound still won't stop bleeding, follow local protocols when considering other methods of bleeding control. Care for other conditions that may develop, including shock. Any serious injury or illness can result in shock, which is a life-threatening condition in which the circulatory system fails to deliver enough oxygen-rich blood to the body's tissues and organs. Signs and symptoms of shock include restlessness or irritability, altered level of consciousness, LOC,
You're just like casually learning.
pale, ashen, cool, or moist skin,
Learning some
nausea or vomiting, rapid
some first
breathing
aid
and
stuff.
pulse, and
This
excessive
lesson is
thirst.
about first aid.
To minimize the effects of shock, ensure EMS personnel have been called. Have the victim lie flat on their back. Control any external bleeding, normal body temperature. Monitor the victim's condition and watch for changes in level of consciousness. Administer emergency
why is he
oxygen if it
putting-
available,
what
and
is he
you are
doing?
trained to do so.
Why is he putting
Never
that
give
like
food or water to a
aluminum
victim
foil
in shock.
thing?
Comfort and reassure the victim until EMS personnel arrive.
Why is he putting that stuff over her?
Take over.
Burn. I hope there's nothing like
A
gross
burn
looking.
is
Oh
another
my
type
god,
of
it's
soft
so
tissue injury that can also occur
Oh
in
my
aquatic
ew.
facilities.
That's gross. Ew.
Heat, radiation, chemical,
Ew.
and electrical.
Mm.
Depending on the source and severity of the burn, you may see redness, blistering, or charring. To care for a burn,
Oh, yeah, I wanna see
remove the
you.
person from the source of the burn, then cool the
Oh my
burn
god, I
area
can't.
with large
I can't.
amounts of cool or cold tap water for at least 10
Oh wait,
minutes.
ew.
If cool or cold water is not available, use a clean cold compress. If a dry chemical caused the burn,
I'm just gonna keep it on my Animal Jam skin until it goes away. Oh my god.
Cover the burn loosely with a sterile dressing and take steps to minimize shock. Comfort and reassure the victim and instruct them to seek follow-up care. Or cold-related emergencies, even without extreme temperatures. Heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke are progressive conditions that can result in death. A victim suffering from heat cramps or heat exhaustion may experience painful muscle spasms, cool, moist, pale, ashen, or flushed skin, a headache, nausea and dizziness, weakness and exhaustion, and heavy sweating. If the situation progresses to heat stroke, their skin may be hot to the touch, wet, dry, red, or pale. They may not be sweating. The person may experience changes in level of consciousness, vision disturbances, and seizures. The person may vomit, experience rapid and shallow breathing, or a rapid, weak pulse.
I hope I experience none of this when I'm like that.
To care for someone suffering from a heat-related illness, move them to a cool place. Loosen or remove clothing as appropriate. Cool the victim, and if they are responsive and able to swallow, encourage them to drink small amounts of a commercial sports drink, coconut water, or milk. If the victim refuses to drink, vomits, or has a mental status change, vision disturbance, or a seizure, summon EMS personnel immediately and take steps to rapidly cool the victim as soon as possible. If it is safe to do so, immerse the victim up to their neck in cold water and continue to monitor them for breathing and a pulse.
Okay.
Cold-related emergencies include hypothermia and frostbite. Hypothermia occurs when the victim's entire body cools because its ability to keep warm fails. Hypothermia can progress into a life-threatening condition. Prompt action at the onset can prevent body temperature from dropping to dangerous levels. A victim who has hypothermia may seem indifferent, disoriented, or confused. You may notice that the victim has a glassy stare. Initially, the victim may shiver, but as the hypothermia progresses, the shivering may stop. This is a sign that the victim's condition is worsening, and they need immediate medical care. To care for someone suffering from hypothermia, gently move the victim to a warm place, remove any wet clothing, and warm the victim with blankets or by putting them in dry clothing. Be sure to cover their head. Monitor the victim's condition, watching for changes in level of consciousness, and summon EMS if necessary.
I'm done with the video.
An injury to soft tissue, such as the skin, fat, or muscle, is called a wound. The first aid supplies needed to care for most wounds should be carried in your hip pack. The four main types of open wounds are abrasion, laceration, avulsion, and puncture. Closed wounds, on the other hand, occur beneath the surface of the skin. Internal bleeding may occur when the skin surface is not broken and damage to soft tissue and blood vessels happens below the surface of the skin. Any serious injury or illness can cause a condition. Shock is a natural reaction by the body and usually signals that the victim's condition is serious. If someone is displaying signs and symptoms of shock, summon EMS personnel immediately. Carefully review these steps for caring for someone who is in shock. Which step is incorrect? Now that you've reviewed the responding to injury videos, let's address some common first aid misconceptions.
I got all of these wrong. I tilt my head back to stop my nosebleed.
Carefully review these steps for caring for an injury to a victim's mouth and teeth if a head, neck, or spinal injury is not also suspected. Which step is incorrect?
What does applied dressing?
Carefully review these steps for caring for burns. Which step
I got a
is incorrect?
journal in Where's the sorry button?
A poison is any substance that can cause injury, illness, or death when introduced into the body. Poisons can be in the form of solids, liquids, sprays, or fumes, such as gases and vapors.
Oh dang, we already know what it is now.
Absorbed poisons enter through the skin or mucous membranes in the eyes, nose, and mouth. These poisons come from plants, as well as from chemicals and medications. Poison ivy, poison oak, and poison sumac are the most common poisonous plants in the United States. Some people are allergic to these poisons and have life-threatening reactions after contact, whereas others may not even get a rash. Carefully review these steps for caring for someone who has been exposed to a poisonous substance. Are any of these steps incorrect? While exposure to extreme heat can make a person ill, heat-related illness can occur even when temperatures are not extreme. If recognized early, heat-related emergencies can usually be reversed. If not recognized early, they may progress to a life-threatening condition. Let's review some questions about heat-related illnesses. It does not have to be very cold for someone to suffer a cold-related emergency. Cold water, air temperature, and windy conditions can contribute to hypothermia. The victim's skin color may appear waxy, cold to the touch, or discolored, flushed, white, yellow, or blue. Accidents, such as falls, are a common cause of injuries to muscles, bones, and joints. There are 4 types of muscle, bone, and joint injury. In this activity, match the injury to its description.
Oh, hello. Yeah. You're not annoying. Oh yeah. You're fresh. Okay. Let's see. A dislocation, I think, is a displacement. Oh, got right. A frat. Oh. What? Okay, I think this is a strain then. Is it a fracture? Okay.
Before administering first aid, you should always make sure the victim isn't also suffering from a head, neck, or spinal injury. When deciding whether a person may have a head, neck, or spinal injury, first think about what caused the injury. Head, neck, or spinal injuries can happen on land or in the water. Review the signs and symptoms that might indicate possible head, neck, or spinal injury.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to prompt you here. Alright. It's a video. I'm almost done with this lesson. Okay, how close I am.
Are lifelong disability or death. Anytime you suspect a person has a head, neck, or spinal injury, whether the victim is in water or on land, activate your facility's EAP to summon EMS and follow the general procedures for injury or sudden illness on land. When you suspect that someone on land has injured their head, neck, or spine, approach the victim from the front so they can see you without turning their head. Instruct the victim not to move and answer any questions verbally without nodding or shaking their head. Have the victim remain in the position in which they were found and protect them from further injury from others until EMS personnel assume control. Do not attempt to move the head or neck unless the victim is not breathing and you cannot maintain an open airway.
Standing.
If you encounter someone who is standing but has a suspected head, neck, or spinal injury, activate your facility EAP and have someone bring a chair over to the victim and have them sit so they don't fall. Minimize movement of the victim's head by telling them to remain still and avoid turning or twisting their head, neck, or back. Protect them from further injury and comfort them until more advanced help arrives. If the victim's condition becomes unstable and a chair is not available, slowly lower the victim to the ground with the assistance of other lifeguards. Try to limit excessive movement of the head, neck, and
Also, by the way,
while the victim
I don't
is being
see your what you say on audience because I'm watching my video.
When you attend your classroom portion of the lifeguarding course, there will be several skills that you will practice related to first aid.
Back to the picture of I don't know where I get that book, but it's telling me to read stuff in my book. Okay, I have one more lesson, and then I have my conclusion. This lesson is 23 minutes long, and this one's 48 minutes long. So that's like a little over an hour I have left.
Every year, approximately 12,000 spinal cord injuries are reported in the United States, and nearly 8% of them occur during sports and recreation, some from head-first entries into shallow water. Although most head, neck, and spinal injuries occur during unsupervised activities, they do sometimes happen while a lifeguard is on duty. These injuries are rare, but they can result in lifelong disability or even death. Prompt and effective care is required. As a professional lifeguard, you must be aware of the causes of head, neck, and spinal injuries. You also must know how to recognize them and provide appropriate care. Head, neck, or spinal injuries are often caused by high risk or high impact activities, such as entering head first into shallow water, colliding with another swimmer, entering the water from a height, or striking the water with great impact. Always consider the mechanism of injury when deciding how to respond. Even if you believe a head, neck, or spinal injury may be present, we must also consider the presence of other life-threatening conditions. For example, is the victim breathing? Are they bleeding severely? Does the victim have a pulse? Your priority is to care for any life-threatening conditions. If at any time the victim is not breathing or has other life-threatening conditions, immediately remove the victim from the water and provide appropriate care. The head splint technique is used to perform manual inline stabilization for victims with a possible head, neck in the water. The objective of the head splint technique is to minimize movement of the victim's head, neck, and spine. The head splint technique varies slightly in location and position in the water.
Just 3 seconds. Alright, wait. How long? Cool. Snazzy look. Cool. Okay.
Water. It can be used when the victim is in shallow or deep water and at, near, or below the surface.
What armor is that?
To perform a head splint if the victim
Is
is
this
in shallow
like
water and
Peck's
face up at
armor
or
or
near the
something?
surface, approach the victim.
Is that Peck's armor? Wait, I'm gonna go and check in the store. I wanna look at the armor real quick. look at the armor in the store. I don't have any, think. Yeah. Hmm. Oh wow, you got even for me. Oh no, it's not. It's who is this? It's Greeley's armor. Oh, this is Pax. I think I have the Cosmo armor. This one, the back armor. Oh my god, it looks like a dress on me. But yeah. Just gonna randomly hop. Okay,
From the side. Grasp the victim's arms midway between their shoulders and elbows, and gently position the arms alongside their head, minimizing movement of the head and neck. Grasp the victim's right arm with your left hand and the victim's left arm with your right hand. Slowly and carefully squeeze the victim's arms against their head to help hold the head in line with the body.
Ooh,
Do
nice
not
one.
move the victim any more than
What do you
necessary.
spy that?
If the person is unresponsive, quickly look, listen, and feel to check to see if the person is breathing. Continue to monitor the victim's condition. With a face-up victim in deep water, the head splint technique is the same, except that you use a rescue tube for supporting during each step. For a victim who is face down at the water's surface, the head splint technique is slightly different. Whether in shallow or deep water, approach a face down victim from the side. In deep water, use the rescue tube for additional support. Carefully grasp the victim's arms midway between their shoulders and elbows. Your right hand grasps the victim's right arm, and your left hand grasps the victim's left arm. Gently position the victim's arms alongside their head, minimizing movement of the head or neck. Squeeze the victim's arms firmly against their head to create inline stabilization. Glide the victim forward and provide support during the turn. Turn the victim face up by pushing the victim's arm that is closest to you under the water and away from you, while pulling their other arm toward you across the surface. Continue to provide inline stabilization throughout the turn by squeezing the victim's arms tightly against their head. Position the victim with their head close to the crook of your arm and quickly look, listen, and feel to check for breathing if the person is unresponsive. The victim onto the backboard. Switch to an overarm head split position. When switching to an overarm head split position, apply firm pressure with your outside arm to pull the victim toward your chest. Using the hand that is closest to your chest, reach over the victim and grab the victim's outside arm. Place the hand that is under the victim and move it to the victim's chest and continue to apply pressure. Continue to monitor the victim's condition as you wait for help to arrive. To perform the head splint technique when the victim is submerged, approach the victim from the side, releasing the victim arm's length beneath the surface. Grasping the victim's arms between their shoulders and elbows, gently position the victim's arms alongside their head and squeeze firmly to help hold the victim's head in line with their body. Begin to bring the victim to the surface at an angle while squeezing the victim's arms firmly against the head to maintain inline stabilization as you move toward the surface. Prior to breaking the surface of water, rotate the victim to a face-up position by gently pushing the victim's arm that is closest to you
Why are her eyes open?
while pulling their other arm across the surface toward you. Position the victim's head close to the crook of your arm, with the head in line with the body. Another lifeguard can place the rescue tube under your armpits for support. Quickly look, listen, and feel to check for breathing responses. If the victim is not breathing, immediately remove them from the water and provide care. If the victim is breathing, switch to an overarm head splint position before placing the victim.